So yesterday we looked at the teams that we thought would make the biggest jump in 2019 relative to their 2018 finishes. So, hey, this year we got to balance it out. We got to go the other way. Which teams are going to fall the most from what they accomplished in 2018? I mean, this is the negative side of it. But again, we have to have full and complete balance, Chris. So, full and complete balance. We're going to give it a try. Here comes the rigged coin toss.
This one's harder.
You don't know whether to call tails or heads today. You've got the psychology of the rigged coin toss system down pat. But what's it going to be today? Because yesterday you knew Kristen was feeling sorry for me, was going to make it come up heads. So you went against your nature and called heads. What are you going to do today?
Yeah, well, I think she's still feeling sorry for you today, and she's going to think that I am thinking that as well, to where she's going to think I'm going to call heads because of that, but I'm going to call tails. It's reverse psychology today. Tails, please, tails. Here we come.
Can I get the last 20 seconds of my life back?
Oh, man, darn it. She did feel sorry for you, and she didn't think I would do it again. Damn it.
All right, let me get right to it then. This one is a challenging one.
Yes.
I got to start, though, with the Saints. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, Drew. Sorry, Saints fans. But 13-3, that is going to be difficult to do. 2 straight seasons of extremely disappointing finishes. 1, the miracle in Minneapolis. 2, getting screwed by the officials in the Superdome. And Drew Brees, we've talked about it today. We've talked about it multiple times this offseason. We think that Father Time is breathing down his neck, and we're already starting to see signs of age limiting the things that Brees can do. I think this is the year that the Saints fall off. I'm not going to say no playoffs yet, but 13-3 is a very high bar for them to get. If they get to the playoffs, I think it's going to be 9-7. And I'm not even ready to say that. They may be 8-8 this year. But either way, they're not going to come close to 13-3 in my opinion.
Yeah, they were certainly one of the teams I was thinking about. I don't know where it falls. This draft certainly is harder than the other one because, there's still a lot of quality pieces on this Saints team. But I'm with you. I don't think they're going to replicate what they did last year and be a 1 or a 2 seed. I think they're a team that's going to maybe find magic late in the year if they do, and it is a 9-7, 10-6, sneak in the playoffs type of thing, and then watch out, oh gosh, they're dangerous because they're the Saints and they got Sean Payton and Drew Brees. A little like Philadelphia last year. They snuck into the playoffs and we went, uh-oh, watch out for them. So I'm with you there. I'm not going to push back. In fact, I'm joining you with the other 13-win team from last year, okay? I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams. This is another team I look at too. I don't know if I'm going to go out on a limb yet and say that they're not going to make the playoffs, but I don't think that they are going to be a 1 or a 2 seed, certainly. They might still win their division because it's a tough division, but I think that's why I'm going to take a few losses away from them this year. I mean, Seattle got better. The San Francisco 49ers, I do think, are going to be real this year. So within that, and then they got to play the NFC South, which is one of the better divisions of football. I mean, when you got to play Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, and Bruce Arians and Jameis Winston, that's never going to be easy. And then you got to play the AFC North with the Ravens and of course the Steelers and the upstart Cleveland Browns. So I just look at it from that standpoint and go, the Rams, same boat as what you had the Saints in. 9 wins, maybe 10 wins if possible, but I do think there will be a drop-off.
It is so hard for us to look at the standings from the last season and project that a team that was good is going to be bad, but we know it happens.
It does.
I'm looking at all the double-digit win teams, and I'm saying, which of these teams am I most comfortable suggesting that they are going to fall off to the point where they don't win at least 10 games? It is not easy to do.
No.
I think that, and I'm reluctant to do this, and I'm glad that our buddy Big Cat's not here today because he'd be very upset with me. I got to go with the Bears at 12-4. And I know that we've been heaping praise on Mitchell Trubisky and second year in the offense, but they've got Chuck Pagano instead of Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator. And, we talk about getting film and breaking down tendencies and catching up to a team. The Bears caught everyone by surprise last year in Matt Nagy's first season. So all those defensive coordinators have a full year of Nagy's system with Mark Helfrich there as the offensive coordinator, Mitchell Trubisky is the quarterback, and you've got all that time to crack the code and break it down and figure out what's going on with that Bears offense. When you look at the fact that we expect the Packers to be better with a new coach, new system, Aaron Rodgers, I expect the Vikings to be better. The Lions could be moving in the right direction. I think it's going to chew into that win total, and I could see the Bears down around 9 or 7 or 8 and 8.
Yeah, I hear you. There's questions there. I mean, gosh, this exercise is really hard because the Bears roster is just so damn good. I mean, it's one of the best defenses in football. And the Vic Fangio point you made, that is very real. I worry about that. But, man, I really got a lot of faith in Chuck Pagano. I'd be shocked if he doesn't, put forth a really good defense once again. But it's so hard to replicate it. You're right. I mean, it's 12-4. I don't know where they end up. I'm not so sure I feel as confident about that pick as maybe your first-round pick or even the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't feel confident about any of them.
Yeah, okay, good.
Once we identified the Saints and the Rams, I was scrambling to pick a team that I was willing to – I mean, and, here's the factor that's going to determine it. It's going to be injuries. I mean, at this time of year when we're all about, hyping and this team's going to be good and that team's going to be good, and I try not to fall victim to that nonsense that every team's going to make the playoffs. The reality is there will be injuries. We know there will be injuries. We just don't know who they're going to happen to, when they're going to happen, or how long they're going to be out.
Yeah.
But the injuries are the things that can take a 13-3 team all the way down to 7-9.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I mean, hey, look at the Carolina Panthers. In 2017, they were 11-5, and then last year they went 6-10. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, looking at teams that fell off, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you're right. It happens. The Jaguars were 10-6. They, of course, were picking number 7 in the draft. You look at them, so that it definitely can happen. It's just about pinpointing the team is going to happen too. And within that, I'm going to pick the Los Angeles Chargers as my next pick. Okay, yeah, they had 12 wins last year. Won some tough, close football games, certainly. I still think, again, there's a lot of things to like and be excited about with the Los Angeles Chargers. I do think the AFC West is better, okay? I do think Phillip Rivers is a year older. That worries me a little bit. I look at the start of their schedule. They got the Indianapolis Colts coming into town. That won't be easy. They go to Detroit in week 2. I know it's Detroit, but, gosh, in Detroit and a team that's going to be desperate in year 2 of Matt Patricia and Matt Stafford, that's kind of dangerous. And then they got the Houston Texans in week 3, which is a playoff caliber football team. So, the thing I worry about with the Chargers is a little bit what we saw at the end of the year against the Patriots, lack of big people on their D-line, Phillip Rivers getting up there in years. I guess I look at that, and then the division with Flacco being there now and still Kansas City being really good, and I do think the Oakland Raiders are going to be better, that I think a 12-win football team, again, this is going to be I'm going to say an 8-8, 9-7 type team when all said and done.
I'm curious, were you tempted to say the Chiefs instead of the Chargers? They both finished 12-4 last year.
I was very tempted. I just went with the one that I felt like maybe I see more of a fall off than the other, and I went with Phillip Rivers falling off, I think, a little bit more than I would expect Patrick Mahomes at this point in their careers.
Now, the question becomes, both of these teams had their seasons end against the Patriots. The Chiefs had the heartbreaking overtime loss at home. The Chargers went on the road. They had won every game they had played away from Los Angeles last year. They went to New England and got splattered.
Yes.
Which psychological scar is harder to recover from? Getting blown out, or taking a team all the way to the brink and then losing on a fluke overtime, we didn't get a chance to match their score and the rule's going to be different this year type of a finish?
Well, I think at the time it happens, it's more of a psychological blow on like the Kansas City Chiefs because you go, oh gosh, we were so close to getting to the Super Bowl, and it hurts more at the time of defeat maybe than the way the Chargers lost. But I think as the offseason goes on, you can swallow that type of defeat easier and go, okay, gosh, we were one play away from beating the Super Bowl champion, and there's positive silver lining. Where the Chargers as the offseason goes, whoa, I mean, we got annihilated in that game. We weren't this close. We were like a big margin away that we got to improve a lot of things on our team if we want to get to the Super Bowl at some point. So I would say the Chargers have more to overcome in that manner.
Yeah, I mean, I've said as a fan, it's always better to have your team blown out than to lose a heartbreaker, but I think it is harder to overcome realizing very starkly and very abruptly that there is a huge gap between you and one of the teams that you're going to have to get through if you ever want to get to a Super Bowl. You throw in the fact that the Chargers are still playing in that soccer stadium in L.A. They got one more year there. They still don't have much of a true fan base. I just think that it is going to wear them down. The way last year ended, I think that it's going to be very hard for them to get back to 12-4. So I don't disagree. What am I doing? I'm trying to help you.
I was going to say thank you. You're exactly right.
What's wrong with me today?
You're exactly right,
I'm getting annihilated
sir.
in Boston just like the Chargers did. All right, I got to go with the Texans. And as much as we like Deshaun Watson is so freaking awesome. I'm not going to sing your song, and I'm definitely going to not use the lyrics you typically do. But look at what happened to him last year with that offensive line. And I don't know that they've made the offensive line significantly better. And at some point, he's going to get injured again. And, we've said injuries are a factor here. And I don't want to get in the business of saying, oh, that's the guy who's going to get injured. But that may be the guy who's going to get injured. And that's going to change everything for the Houston Texans if Deshaun Watson gets hurt. The Colts are going to be better. The Jaguars are going to be better. The Titans, they could have a surprise or two up their sleeve, especially if Marcus Mariota really is showing indications he's developing as a leader. I just think 11-5 is going to be very, very difficult for the Texans to match, especially because they in the postseason were not impressive. They lost at home to the Colts.
Yeah, no, I know. You're right. And again, to what we're saying about a lot of these teams, their division's awesome. We know that. And to your point, I'll stick up for you a little bit here. They have the fourth hardest strength of schedule going into this year. 7 10-win teams, and they're playing 7 playoff teams. So not going to be an easy road for them here on out. Okay, this is almost impossible here. I don't know where the hell to go. I really don't. I'm stuck in I don't knowville here. Okay. I mean, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens, even though I don't know what the hell I'm doing here because this is a really tough last pick, okay? So I'm conceding that I'm up in the air because
you could have taken the Chiefs.
I don't feel as comfortable about it. I don't know. I don't know. It's close between them. I thought about maybe, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know who to pick here. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens just because of one thing, because I want to see the growth of the passing game first, and that scares me a little bit. And of course, we know the AFC North is going to be very good. I don't really feel comfortable about that pick, and I don't know if I truly believe what I'm saying right there, but at least there's one big issue or question mark I have about the Ravens, and it is where that pass offense goes and the development of Lamar Jackson and everything around him. So I'll go with them, even though maybe the Chiefs was the smarter pick. I don't know.
I've got the Saints, Bears, and Texans. Chris has the Rams, Chargers, and Ravens. We got to take a break. When we return, a retired tight end may be rejoining the Patriots today. Ooh, that's a tease.
I should have picked the Dolphins. That was dumb.
You are dumb.
I know.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.